right, episode 3, starting to make a habit of this thing. This week I brought back my boy Proctor, and we're going to be talking about lots of Snyder Cut related subjects, and also some Aquaman. Get his thoughts on Aquaman. But we talk about the Snyder Cut T-Shirt and the Zack Snyder Director's Cut event, which is happening later this March, so all that's really exciting, and we talk about it here in this podcast. So kick back, grab a snack, enjoy the conversation, and let's get on to it. So Proctor, great to have you back again. So, what's the first thing you want to talk about? What's the first on the agenda?
Oh, we haven't even discussed Aquaman. It's been that long.
Yeah, we haven't got a chance to talk about Aquaman. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Aquaman?
I think I was the opposite of you. I think I watched a bit of your video. Was it with comic book movie marks or something?
We did the spoiler cast with it. Yeah.
You said that you were a bit iffy when you first watched it, and then it grew on you the more times you watched it, didn't you?
Yeah, it kind of grew on me.
It's different for me. I absolutely adored it the first time, and every time since then, I've lost a bit of love for it. I've just been like, ugh, like.
I can kind of understand that a little bit.
I don't think it's going to be one I'll buy on Blu-ray and I'll worship like BVS or.
Oh, I mean, I'm definitely buying it on Blu-ray, but it's not like BVS level. You know, I like the film, but it's not. You know, it's not comparable, really. But like, let me hear some of your problems with it, because I think we're gonna actually come together on this a little bit.
But the main problem for me, well, one of the big ones is probably the jokes. I think a lot of the jokes don't hit at all. They don't land at all.
That's very true.
Like, I think there's only a very few amount that I feel felt natural. For the most part, they felt very forced. Like Warner Brothers were behind James Wan saying, "Go on, stick it in. Go on,
yeah.
Go on."
It made me curious to look up who the screenwriter was. I already forgot his name, but like it was somebody I'd never heard of before, and I was wondering like how many like rewrites this movie had. Jeff Johns was actually wrote the story with James Wan, and as far as like a story, like it's like a beginning, middle, and end, it made sense. You know, like it wasn't like something ridiculous happening, but yeah, a lot of the dialogue was very cringe, I guess you could say. It was very
definitely
not funny.
Whoever put them jokes in, they just didn't work at all.
Yeah, and I found myself like really cringing at some of these lines.
Yeah, same.
But honestly, like the overall like story and what they did with Black Manta's character and and Orem, especially Patrick Wilson's Orem, I really like those things a lot because they stayed very true to the comics and everything. It's very accurate. I don't think it's gonna be as remembered as like a Man of Steel, I mean, yeah. I definitely think the movie's good though. I mean, like I don't think it's like amazing. What's some other problems you had with it?
I thought the action was incredible, but we're talking about bad stuff. I'd probably say
we'll get to the good stuff. So
yeah, we'll get to the good stuff. I think I wouldn't like to say missed opportunities, but it did feel like there was some missed opportunities. Like there were some parts I was just thinking like, oh, what are you doing? Like, oh, you could have did so much more with that.
Exactly, like the fucking the teenage Aquaman on the beach with talking to Volko. Do you remember that scene?
What does she not love me?
Yeah,
love me?
That was some rough shit. I don't know what James Wan was thinking. He should have definitely had a cutaway, something to get off that kid's face, because that was just rough. How do you sit there and watch that and be like, "Oh, this is good"?
I know. Yeah, like, this is good. Put it in our film.
That's insanity. It didn't matter how good Willem Dafoe was in that scene. Like he was staring right into the camera, just like giving paragraphs of exposition. They definitely should have cut away. It was definitely way too much. There was a couple of moments in the film like that. Probably when saying bye to Queen Alana at the beginning of the film. He's like, "No, you don't have to do this, please." that felt very forced. The film's got problems. This is not a perfect film by any means. But I still enjoyed it. Like every time I watched it, we can start talking about some of the good stuff, I guess. But those fucking action scenes, dude, like that was some really good shit. Like you don't get that in a lot of these comic book films. Like a lot of one shot tracking them the whole time. The camera never cuts away.
That's what DC seems to be good at. They do that with all of them, haven't they?
Oh yeah,
I think Nolan's the only one who hasn't really done stuff like that. Nolan cuts a lot, but since Snyder came along, DC has did that quite heavily.
I think that's the aesthetic they're going towards. That's the consistency all these films are going to have. It's just the action scenes are going to be dope. Yeah, I really liked all the camera work and stuff. And I really loved all the costume designs. Like the way Black Manta looked was perfect. Orm looked perfect. Aquaman's costume at the end looked perfect. I mean, you really can't complain about some of the basic stuff like that. But what was some of the highlights for you?
Black Manta, 100%. He was the best part of the film. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot. Yeah,
I even tweeted at him saying the actor who played him saying you better be coming back for the second one.
Yeah. Dude, when he fell off that cliff, do you remember that scene where he's falling off the cliff and he's hitting the rocks and stuff?
Yeah.
That shit looks so real. I was blown away by that alone.
Yeah, it was crazy. In the end, the after credits scene, ooh.
Yeah, that was a good little tease. Did you watch my video where I talked about what I thought the sequel was going to be?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that, actually.
Well, there's in the comics, Black Manta kills Arthur's son, Arthur and Mira's son, the baby. He kills a baby. And I don't think they'll ever do that in the movies, but that would be incredible if Black Manta did that.
I thought, didn't Black Manta rip Aquaman's arm off? Or
I think there's a version where he cuts his hand off, or there might be some other villain that cuts off Aquaman's hand, but that's some shit they could retcon. That's some stuff you can have Black Manta do that. It wouldn't upset anybody. No one's gonna be like, oh, it wasn't Black Manta who cut off his arm, right?
Yeah, I hope he does damage. That was another problem I had with this film. Black Manta just seemed so not wasted. I just think I know he was obviously there just to be set up. I just think they made him look like such a I don't know. I just hate how I hate how easily he got beat. It proper annoyed me. Because that chase sequence built it up so much, and I thought we were going to have a mental big fight outside the church, and then
kind of beats him easily with an amazing throw. I don't know how Aquaman did that throw so perfectly. Where he throws these cement balls around his neck. I don't even know how he did that. Perfectly lands on his helmet.
Some of the underwater talking annoyed me as well. I didn't like the gargling. Obviously it was an effect because they're underwater, but I didn't
they had that echo effect going.
Yeah.
And they had the shimmers, water shimmers over them, so it would distort their faces sometimes.
Some of the hair was just I was just sat there going, that must be CGI.
All the hair CGI. Yeah, but it didn't pull me out of the movie that much. I mean, I could still. I wonder what it's going to look like on my TV. Because with a big IMAX screen, you can really see the CG. It's right in your face.
Yeah.
But with a regular sized TV, I wonder what it would look like.
I still don't think I like Jason Momoa's behavior as well. I don't like this, my man, Aquaman.
Yeah, he doesn't really feel like Arthur. He feels like a Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it just feels like I'm watching Jason Momoa. Yeah, it doesn't feel like I thought throughout the film he'd change or something. So, but I don't know. I just throughout the full film, even in serious moments, he'd go back to being my man within a few minutes.
Oh yeah. And I think that was probably some studio-driven stuff or something.
I don't think he was miscast. I think he was perfectly cast, but I just there were some scenes where I was like, "Oh, come on, what are you doing?"
In Justice League, the Snyder Cut. We might as well start leaning into that.
Yeah.
But Aquaman in Justice League, he had those moments my man and stuff like that. But there was some moments where he looks like he's genuinely an asshole, he's pissed off at his mother for abandoning him and stuff. And I wonder if that was going to be explored in the Snyder Cut, or if that was just added Joss Whedon stuff, because it kind of fucks up the whole Aquaman movie a little bit. Make any sense? He hates his mom in Justice League, and then in Aquaman he forgives her and everything. It's just it doesn't seem like it fit.
Yeah, and he knows that she was killed, so I think it makes a bit less sense if he hated her. Why would he hate someone who? Do you know what I mean? He's cleverer than that. He's not that. That's just what a stupid person would be like. Oh, I hate you. You left me.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Snyder Cut probably explains something along those lines.
Yeah, it wasn't explained properly or something, or
because Vulko and Mira were both in the Snyder Cut, and they probably had some exposition lines where they talk about that,
and
while we're on the Snyder Cut. What do you think of that shirt?
Best thing to happen.
Right? Just when I'm out, they pull me back in. So, Zack Snyder posts this right after, rebranding his whole production company and stuff like that, right? He has a new shirt that's all about Justice League, and he's been off the movie since May of 2017. And he's still talking about Justice League. What are your thoughts on this?
The shirt or that point in particular?
The shirt in general.
It's crazy. I don't know whether it's... I think it proves... I know we already knew, but I think it 100% proves that Zack Snyder is sat in a corner reading everything we're posting about the Snyder Cut.
He's aware.
Watching. He knows exactly. Yeah, he knows. He's not sat working on the Fountainhead completely disregarding DC, or he knows for a fact that we want his cut and that the people are obsessed with his universe and want his universe and respect him. I don't think he's given to the trolls at all. I think he's seen people trolling BVS and all that, and that maybe at the time he was upset, but now he knows he's got his fans, he's got his hardcore fans, and he's got people who really do respect his universe and want his universe to come to fruition.
There's definitely a big groundswell of support that's been getting bigger and bigger ever since like the Snyder Cut was first evidence of it first came out, right?
Yeah,
and he's been following it the whole time. He's been definitely keeping track of the fandom. And he keeps edging us along, he keeps pushing us along. He could stop talking about all this tomorrow, right? But he doesn't. He keeps posting new stuff. He won't let us forget about it. Are we ever going to see this thing?
The Justice League Snyder Cut comes out. All we're going to do is turn around and go #we want Zack Snyder for Justice League 2.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
I think even if we get the Snyder Cut, we're still going to want him back because we're going to want to see what his universe offered.
I still want him to do any DC film, but yeah, I would definitely like to see what he was going to do with Justice League Part 2. God, this shirt's amazing. I mean, have you read into the film Exiles breakdown of this shirt?
No, I've read something on Twitter, and then I watched your video on it.
I mean, we're talking pages of deeper meaning in this.
There's some stuff I'm confused by. There's some stuff that I know, I can understand some of it. But there is some stuff that I just don't have a clue what it means.
Yeah, there's some stuff I really don't know either, honestly.
Yeah,
But some of the stuff is very obvious, like the AC-23 and the coffin and the Omega symbol and the swords and stuff. It's kind of like the Knights of the Round Table. There's a bunch of different things you can pull from it. Honestly, this stuff is way the fuck over my head.
Trust in Snyder.
Trust in Snyder.
That has to be what it means.
There's so many different meanings. I'm telling you, Zack Snyder, everything means at least 5 different things. People are saying this is the whole 5-part story arc. I don't know if it is the whole 5-point story arc, honestly, because it doesn't seem like there's enough story there, right? It seems like it's just Justice League Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, there's no way that's all of them.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's enough there for it to be
Where's the Man of Steel reference? Where's the BVS reference? There isn't
exactly.
Any. So yeah, it's definitely just Justice League 1 and 2.
Zack is definitely just talking about his major Snyder Cut, the 2-part film. There might have been a chance that he did shoot both the films back to back, because they were filming for 8 months, double the time of a normal production. So you never know if he actually did get footage done for the second film because he thought he was gonna, go into production again. So they might have took the sets they had, and if they had scenes planned out for the next film, they might have already shot those scenes. With Warner Brothers, being very reactionary, and now they're not doing a shared universe. Or Tony Emmerich's we're gonna be less focused on shared universes. You really got to question how committed they are to this, which is so stupid because they got 3 other movies coming out that are connected right into this Snyder Cut. It's.
You notice as well the first statement coming from Toby Emmerich's mouth is nothing to do with Snyder Cut. Yet again, another chance he could have knocked it down completely, and he didn't bother.
Yeah. I mean, and instead of focusing on Aquaman's $1 billion success, he wants to talk about how they're not doing a shared universe. It's gotta be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the first thing he should have been doing is a public statement saying, "Oh, we're working hard with James Wan trying to get an Aquaman 2 sorted."
Yeah. And now,
and that's all he had to say. He didn't have to say anything else.
yeah, didn't mention the Snyder Cut, didn't mention Zack Snyder or anything. Even though I'm sure he's being asked. Yeah, I mean, he could have squashed it too. And when he said they're not going to focus on a shared universe, like, why can't they release the Snyder Cut? Like, why would that be a problem? It wouldn't, right? Like, if they don't care anymore about Justice League, like, put out a better version. Put out the director's full vision out there and see what it does. It might become a huge cult hit. Seems like it's so easy.
Yeah, he's an idiot. For someone who runs a business like that, he is an absolute just tit. He's the biggest tit end going. Like, how silly. Like, what kind of statement is that? I don't get the point of what he was saying. What's he trying to say? Or we're not doing a Justice League Part 2. Is that it? Is that all? Like, what's the point? He didn't have to say, just not announce a Justice League coming out. There you go. You've just did the same job that you've just done.
Yeah.
Like,
that's all you had.
You don't have to come out and tell us. It's always been about the director's my fucking arsehole. Jesus Christ. I don't think Zack Snyder would agree with that. Like,
no.
I don't think David Ayer would agree with that. I don't think Patty Jenkins would agree with that. Nope. Considering they tried their goddamn hardest to get the No Man's Land scene cut.
Yeah, they're trying like crazy to get that cut. They really don't care about directors as long as their films make money. That's all they really care about, right?
And even then, they don't seem to give a shit.
Like, they should be over the fucking moon that Aquaman made $1 billion. Like, fucking Aquaman. Out of every DC character, the one that gets made fun of the most gets $1 billion. Like, this should be like a huge sign to them that they can make bank with these movies. And any other editions of these movies that they have, we know they have a different cut of Suicide Squad. We know they have a different cut of Justice League. And you can make more money just by putting them out. And I don't understand what the dilemma is. It must be a pride thing.
I do genuinely think it's a really bad thing that Aquaman's did this good, though.
I mean, do you think this is gonna lead to less serious DC films? I mean, we know Shazam's gonna be like a comedy because that's just like kind of the character.
That's the character.
Anyway.
Yeah. He has his dark moments, and I'm sure the film will give us that.
When Black Adam shows up, dude, that shit's gonna be fucking intense. Like,
yeah,
it should.
Even when he's on the subway and it's like, Billy Batson, I choose you.
Yeah, I hope that shit's scary. I mean, I hope it's not too fucking corny. I want some serious moments, because that's what DC excels at. It's just they've been always known as the more adult brand that puts out more, serious Watchmen, V for Vendetta. Swamp Thing, Sandman. It's all, DC and Vertigo. And the movie should be like that. They were on the right track with BVS, and they got scared. They got scared. They chickened out.
I do genuinely think it's a really bad thing Aquaman doing this well, though. I think it's going to tell them, right, we don't need Zack Snyder. We can make it more lighthearted, and I don't know. Personally, I think it's a problem. I think it's going to be a bad thing. Definitely, they're going to try and take the easiest option to make money. Copying off Marvel's the easiest way.
It works for Marvel. It's not going to work for DC. You're 20 movies behind. You got to do something completely different.
Imagine a Batman movie like Aquaman.
Yeah, it's going to suck. It's going to suck.
Yeah, it's going to be awful.
It's going to be like Adam West. It's going to be like a 1960s Adam West show. Well, I don't want that. I want Batman better be dark and brooding and serious. People better be dying.
Better be, yeah. Let's hope Warner Brothers are not too late.
This shirt that Zack Snyder puts out, I mean, you don't put this out unless, you got something going on, Like, why would he keep focusing on Justice League? Like, almost 2 years later, you're still talking about it? Like, what kind of director does that? Josh Trank, the director of Fantastic Four, the horrible Fantastic Four movie, the same thing happened to him. The studio kicked him off the film, I think, near the end, and they totally reshot shit, and they changed his movie entirely. He doesn't talk about his cut of Fantastic Four,
Yeah, he's gone. He's left it. Well, David Ayer still does, to be fair, about Suicide Squad. He still talks about it.
Oh, yeah, after some time has passed. He was silent, though, that first year,
Yeah, he said absolutely nothing. Yeah.
He was actually supporting the film that was in theaters. He was playing. He was a team player. And, he didn't get his director's cut anyway. I mean, and now he's like, fuck Warner Brothers. I'm going to say what I want now. If they actually go through with the Snyder Cut and actually put that out, there really is no excuse. They really should do the David Ayer cut too, because that was test screening in front of audiences, I think, before they did the edits and they changed the movie and changed the ending. They had David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad ready to go. I think it would be easy to put it out. It's not like, I mean, with the Snyder Cut, there might be some visual effects work to do. There might not. It doesn't. I don't. We don't really know. But it seems like it would be a cheap thing to do. It's just to put out the Suicide Squad director's cut, put out the Justice League director's cut. Fuck it. What do you have to lose?
They don't have the kindness to do that.
Yeah, they just made $1 billion, so money is not an obstacle right now.
Yeah, like you need like damage control. If it's not coming, you need to sort it out. You need to stop. Like Warner Brothers should be straight on him, saying, "What are you doing? Shut up!" Type thing.
But if you're Zack Snyder, like, why would you keep wanting to get people interested in something that's not going to happen? Like,
unless Warner Brothers have said to him, like, if you can generate enough hype that we can see it, fine, you can do it.
I can see
Otherwise, it's not happening. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But still, I mean, we have this groundswell support. It keeps growing. He has 200,000 followers on Vero that are just there for Snyder Cut stuff. Like, clearly.
Yeah.
They're just there for that. I don't know, like, how much more evidence they need. They flew a plane over Warner Brothers. Zack Snyder keeps putting out images that gets people hyped. They make news articles about it on every goddamn blog and media outlet about everything Zack Snyder posts on Vero. All the letters and phone calls to Warner Brothers, they definitely know.
I wish it'd just hurry up now, though, because it will get like not anytime soon, but I think it will get to a point where just everyone will just give up. Like,
yeah,
there's only so much fight until it's just what's the point? Like they're not mentioning it, they're not hyping us up. They're just being borderline ignorant. Like they're just not interested.
And that's why I think this shirt is actually helping a lot, because I mean, a lot of people got reinvested because they see this shirt and they see all these Easter eggs and they're like, this can't be for nothing, and we're thinking this is going to lead to something. This shirt's just too on the nose, If it was just for suicide awareness, had nothing to do with the Snyder Cut, why would we put, the Justice League symbols all over it? Like, why?
Exactly.
He definitely is focused on this. He definitely keeps thinking about this. But yeah, you got any other thoughts? Did you want to talk about what Eli Snyder said?
He blocked direct messages straight after I messaged him.
Really?
Yeah, so you can't direct message him anymore. It was literally just after I'd messaged him, though.
You must have called him Ellie instead of Eli.
I said, "Hello, sir. I'm a huge fan of Mr. Snyder. I've been desperately begging for the Snyder Cut and spreading the message over the last few months. Please tell me some good news, even just a hint." That's all I said.
He's like, block. But what you think about when he said that? Good things are coming soon with the hourglass and everything.
I'm a bit annoyed that he did that, to be fair, but I'll let him off. My guess is that as soon as that got posted online, like, God knows how many people spammed him.
Right? Like, I bet he got thousands or hundreds.
Yeah, I bet he got an insane amount of people hounding him, so yeah.
But you think it's, like, legitimate? Or was he just trying to be polite?
He said, "Hi, Joshua. Total optimism. Good things are coming soon."
Yeah, what the hell's that supposed to mean? What the hell's this?
Yeah, this is my argument. My argument is, what I've seen it as, I was very excited, and then once I calmed down and started thinking about it, I realised it means nothing. It just means nothing. It really does mean nothing. All he's doing there is, for starters, he's only got 1,000 followers. He's just got a random message, which I bet no one else has even thought to do. Like, to be honest, would his son really know? Like, would he know? Would
I don't know.
Zack Snyder?
Unless Zack
He'd have an
Snyder told
NDA,
him.
surely. Yeah, but surely he'd have an NDA, so if he can't tell us, he can't tell his son. So why would he know? And I thought, like, I agree with Comic Book Movie Marks, I think he is just trying to be nice and shut people up. It proved that he's blocked his account now. Proves it. That proves it.
He's getting a lot of hounded by other fans, probably.
Yeah, but I think that could have meant what Zack Snyder's just announced. He could have just meant, "Oh, don't worry, good things are coming soon," as in Zack Snyder's doing a Q&A and he's doing a big fan screening.
Yeah, like he's
it doesn't necessarily mean
this director's cut event that's happening in March. That's what he could be talking about. Kind of makes sense.
That's what I mean. It doesn't mean total optimism, good things are coming soon.
good things could just mean this director's cut event for Zack Snyder.
Yeah, that's all I think it could mean. There's nothing what he writes and types there that remotely hints that it's...
Yeah, he doesn't say anything specifically about any kind of Snyder cut or anything like that.
Even the person who messages Eli doesn't even mention it. He doesn't even. He just says,
he never says Snyder cut.
We're hoping to have the vision of your father someday. So Eli might just go, oh yeah, we're having a director's cut, blah blah blah, to celebrate like history or something like. So that's completely put that on one side. Like, I don't care about that. Like that, I haven't took that seriously at all.
Yeah.
I think everyone's blown that out of proportion. I think a few people have seen it like us as well and just thought, just who cares type thing. Like, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, because I was excited too when I first saw it. Like, I was oh my god, like this means something. Because like I think the guy who's messaged him said something about like 2 years waiting or something like that, and I'm like, that could only be referring to one thing. And would Eli Snyder, like, would he understand what he's talking about? And I don't know if he would. I know Eli Snyder, Eli, not Ellie. I was doing it again.
You just see all the people commenting already.
It's Eli! Eli Snyder. I think, well, he was really supportive of this, like, of his dad's director's cut when Justice League first came out. He was like one of the first people to be like, that's not my dad's film. That's in theaters. So, I mean, he's aware of, like, the whole Snyder Cut movement and, you know, everybody that wants his dad's director's cut Justice League. But would he be able to, like, put that together from the message that guy sent? I don't know. It's all very cryptic.
Are we really saying that in the last 2 years, Eli Snyder hasn't said a single thing about the Snyder Cut, and all of a sudden, like, he's going to ruin the surprise and go, oh, good, keep optimism, good things are coming. Oh. He'd keep it quiet. He wouldn't even reply.
Yeah, true. And I don't know if you listened to the comic book debate podcast with Clay Enos.
I was getting ready to tomorrow.
I'll just tell you right now, Clay Enos is still optimistic that we might get a Snyder Cut, but he thinks it's gonna take a lot. Like, we're gonna have to change like the culture of like movie going audiences for us to get a Snyder Cut.
I read an article on it before I came on here with you, just in case you want to speak about it.
Yeah, that was really interesting. Like, because he didn't seem as optimistic as he did like last year, and I think the more time goes on, I think like the less likely it becomes. Honestly, I mean, who knows? We might get it this year. We might get it next year. What was funny is that Zack Snyder also posted another Justice League image that from an angle no one's seen before, of Bruce Wayne looking for Jason Momoa's Aquaman, right? He's like on the back of a horse and everything.
Oh, shut up, Alex. It's not even finished.
The Snyder Cut's not even finished.
It's not even Zack Snyder. It's Joss Whedon's film.
I blocked those people immediately. You can't reach them. You can't. But yeah, I mean, what would you think about that post Zack Snyder made with Bruce Wayne on the horseback? That was just like what, yesterday or the day before?
I mean, no offense, I love him. He's unbelievable photographer. Like, I mean, didn't he take the Batman shot? Like, that we got.
Clay Enos, he's taking
unbelievable photographer. Like, and he supports Zack Snyder, so I love him instantly. But no offense, he won't have a clue what's happening at Warner Brothers right now. And the only person in this world is Warner Brothers. Zack Snyder, maybe the actors know that what's coming.
Yeah.
Or if anything's coming, of course. But like, Clay Enos will be the last person to know. He'll be with us. He'll know when we know.
And he even admits that in the podcast, that he's like the last person to get told anything.
So why, like, I know fair, but like at the end of the day, he's saying it might not come for a while. I believe that. Of course I believe that. But at the end of the day, like, it could get announced tomorrow. If that cut's done, it could get announced any day. And he was talking about a theatrical release, which they're not going to do.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
It'll be a Blu-ray release, like a home entertainment release.
Yeah, and they definitely are sitting on something. They have some version of Zack Snyder's cut of the movie. And
I think to get into the juicy bit now, we need to talk about Zack Snyder's announcement.
Yeah.
Because I've got big thoughts on that announcement.
Well, why don't you go ahead and share them?
Right. But when I seen that, my eyes read Zack Snyder cut. And I was just, I was freaking out. I was going, yes! And then when I read it properly, I was like, no! Because I instantly thought, it's my birthday, but I got you all something he's obviously like, there's 3 things are going to happen that day. 1, he's going to come out, he's going to get asked about it, he's going to say, we're really sorry, it's not happening. 2, he's going to come out and say, I've got nothing to announce, but keep fighting the good fight. Or 3, he's going to announce it. That's the only 3 things he can't do. There's no way he'll say, sorry, I can't talk about it. Yeah. There's no way he'd do a Q&A unless he could talk about it finally.
Yeah.
There's no way that
somebody is going to ask him too. Like, it's no doubt.
Everyone there's going to want to ask him.
Yeah.
And if he says anything positive, everyone's going to be screaming.
And I mean, even if he couldn't say anything, like, that's a good sign that something's happening, right? Like, if he's not allowed to say anything.
That definitely what he wouldn't do a Q&A unless he could talk about it.
Yeah, that's what we're all hoping for.
But it could be positive or a negative. Just because he can talk about it, he could easily come out and say, I'm really sorry, it's not coming.
Yeah, I mean, if it really wasn't going to happen, that's what he would say. And it could
but
squash this whole thing.
Time, if it's negative, why the beep is he constantly posting Justice League stuff when he knows how desperate we are?
Yeah, I mean, he knows.
If he'd be the biggest dick in the world if he knew that film was not coming.
Yeah, he knew just a few days ago what happened with Eli Snyder, with the whole him responding to a fan. Zack Snyder knew that instantly. He liked to post, like, he saw that. And then like a day later, he announces this event that's going to happen at the end of March, and then he posts a Justice League image, all in like the span of like 3 days. I think he's aware of what the fans want.
He's rather not aware, a dickhead, or like it's coming. Like, what I believe, I'd say 80% believe that screening's going to happen. BVS, the director's cut will finish. He's going to come on stage and say, "I've brought you something special," and it'll go dark, and the trailer will play. That's my guess. Lord.
That would be insanity. People there would lose their minds. It would be all over the internet.
And then when it blows up it's going to blow up, And all they have to do is quickly, all the news articles, even people who can't stand Snyder, will be like, oh my God, like the Snyder Cut's coming.
Yeah.
All they'll have to do is quickly say, right, it's coming out this time. You can pre-order it now. It'll be out in the next 2 months or something, and it'll be crazy.
And what's funny is that he's going to be doing this event from March 22nd to 24th. And the day after, March 25th, is the 3-year anniversary of BVS theatrical release, which is just a funny coincidence.
And it's been 2 years since the first Justice League trailer dropped.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely peculiar timing, for sure. I would love if they dropped the trailer and, like,
there's a Q&A after each film. He's going to be there all 3 days.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we're going
to...
Someone's going to ask
Dawn of the Dead, then he's going to get asked,
Yeah. I think it's going to be Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, and BVS, right? No.
Yeah. But have you noticed as well, he said, I can't wait to see you all. And then I'm bringing some friends. What possible friends could he be bringing?
Yeah, like...
that we'd be bothered about.
His cinematographer?
It's going to... What I'm guessing is he's going to come on that stage. Not a stage. It's like an auditorium.
Jason going to be there.
Yeah, I think the Justice League cast are going to walk out with him. And he's going to announce it.
That would be wild. Ben Affleck comes back. That would be insanity. I would love that to happen. Because the rumor is that we're going to get the Snyder Cut announcement at, like, San Diego Comic-Con. And then it's going to, like, release November of this year. That's, like, the big rumor about the release date for it. And it's interesting that this event is coinciding with that. You know, it's like he could totally do, like, a little teaser for his director's cut at this event, and then we wait for Comic-Con for more news, and then it's released later this year. I would love if we got something, anything.
If nothing gets announced that weekend, I'm giving up. Like, honestly, there's no way he'd allow himself, all his family. If he had nothing good to say about the Snyder Cut, everyone around him would say, "Do not do a Q&A." Yeah. Warner Brothers would be coming in saying, "Why are you doing a Q&A?" Yeah. You know what they're going to ask. It's the first thing anyone's going to ask.
He knows. He knows they're going to ask it. He's got to have something prepared for it.
He's got an answer that he's given. Yeah. And from how he's been posting Justice League stuff, I honestly think he'll be coming out And the first thing he's going to do, just so he doesn't get questions left, right, and centre from it, the first thing he's going to do after Dawn of the Dead finishes, or before it starts, or whatever, is I've brought you all a treat, and he's going to screen Justice League. He's going to screen the trailer, or just screen the film. Yeah, or he says it's not Dawn of the Dead, unlucky, it's Justice League.
Yeah,
there's just no way he'd do this. Like, it's my birthday, but I got you all something. Oh, by the way, it's $100 a day. So how's he got you all something? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because how have I got anything? I'm from the UK, so I'm a fan of these. I've missed out.
Yeah.
But I won't have missed out if a Snyder Cut gets announced.
Yeah, man. And they dropped the trailer online, right after the event. That'd be amazing. Like, what? It's so easy for them to do. Everybody thinks that the film's done. Jay Oliva thinks it's done. Clay Enos thinks the film's done. There's no reason to not release this thing. And I'm sure Zack Snyder really wants to talk about it. And that would be the perfect place.
If he doesn't, can we just admit it's not coming? No. At least it's not coming anytime soon.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen this year. I kind of want to wait till like Comic-Con or like something like that, but it really doesn't feel like it's going to come anytime soon. Listening to Clay Enos talk on that podcast really made me think that, yeah, it's going to be a while because a lot of things have to go right for it to happen, and the studio has to come to their senses. But, there's a perfect time to release it. This holiday season, there's no DC films coming out, but there's a big gap where there's nothing DC-related happening. So that would definitely be a good time to announce it.
You can't even say if it doesn't get mentioned. It will be getting mentioned on this 3 days. We're going to know something on March the 22nd. March the 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd or 24th,
Yeah, no, but he's doing a Q&A after each film. Yeah. So after Dawn of the Dead, the first question is going to be, hello, Zach, is there a Snyder Cut?
What's that other director's cut? Yeah.
And it's an audience Q&A. It's not going to be one where they're going to go, oh, what are you asking? This is what you have to ask. It's going to be random people picked out who are going to scream, Snyder Cut. If not, as soon as he walks in the room, everyone's going to scream, release the Snyder Cut.
And Matthew from Comic Movie Marks, he said that they're thinking about going to this event, and that would be really great to have somebody go there that we know is going to ask that question, some people are very
booked
slow.
It already.
Yeah.
Comic Movie Marks booked it yesterday, so they're definitely going, yeah.
I would hope they would ask the question because I feel like people are just too timid. Like they would wait to ask the question until it was too late.
Nah, so someone's gonna ask that question.
People better not be shy. They better fucking ask about, what happened on Justice League. When's the director's cut coming out? What do we have to do to get it released? It should be released, man. Like, we have more support than any director's cut ever. I don't think this many people cared about the Donner cut of Superman. So what are they waiting for?
March the 22nd, that's what we're waiting for, so Zack Snyder himself can announce it. Let's be honest, right? He's done, no offence to him, he's done nothing for 2 years, but he was seen at Warner Brothers lot. Explain that for me. Army of the Dead's with Netflix, so explain why he's been at Warner Brothers lot. He's fighting our fight. He's trying to get his cut.
Because it's a special circumstance because he should have a director's cut for this movie, but because it's like characters owned by Warner Brothers, I think this is what's causing the problem. Like, he has to get approval for them to do anything, which is weird because he's the director of the film. He should have his director's cut no matter what.
The 22nd of this month, we will know if it's not coming, it is coming, or it'll be announced. That's the only 3 things that can happen on the 22nd. There's no way that he can come onto that stage and say...
Not say anything.
Not say anything. It's impossible. He'd probably get booed off, because how angry would you be if he went, oh, I'm not talking about that. Why announce something and do a Q&A? Don't do the Q&A.
And you're going to have people there wearing the Zack Snyder T-shirt from the campaign they just did, right? There's going to be people there wearing that T-shirt with the whole Justice League story arc on it. So, of course, Zack Snyder's going to be looking at people that are totally interested in Justice League and his director's cut. There's no way he can avoid it. It's going to happen. Something's got to give.
I truly, 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 truly believe that March the 22nd, you're going to see online Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League has been announced. I truly believe that. Like, I had I had a feeling that it might have been announced at Comic-Con last year. Like, I got a bit like, ooh, like a bit excited, like, oh, it might actually happen. But this time, I have like a really strong feeling that it's going to get announced.
I mean,
but I really do think it's going to get announced this month.
There was that time in like early January where we had like little to like no news about the Snyder Cut, right?
Yeah.
And it really felt like nothing was getting moved forward. But then all of a sudden, man, like this, like just one thing after another, just in the last week. And how can you not think about the Snyder Cut? And I know how the comic movie marks talk about perception. Like maybe we're wanting it so much that we think it's in everything. Like everything's a clue for the Snyder Cut. But it's just like there's too many coincidences.
That's there's no way he'd post. Why would if we were looking too much into stuff? Why the f would he do for a charity a Justice League top?
Yeah.
Why would he do that? That's so mental. If you watch interviews with him, he's a genius. He's a clever guy. He knows what he's talking about. He knows his fans really, really well. I watched a Man of Steel interview and I was like, oh my god, he knows me. Like he knows his fans. He knows what we're doing. Jesus Christ, he posted a video of Release the Snyder Cut plane flying above him.
Yeah.
So why would he post Justice League pictures every other day?
Yeah.
Why would he do a screening specifically for the director's cuts? Ooh, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not screening any other cuts.
No,
he's not screening Legends of the Guardians. He's not screening 300. He's screening the ones with director's cuts.
Yeah. That's quite the coincidence. And what else did he do? Oh yeah, why would he be liking constantly people that support Release the Snyder Cut?
Didn't he like something of someone saying literally, "Oh, I am so desperate for Zack Snyder's cut." Hashtag Release the Snyder Cut, and he liked it.
He likes that stuff all the time. It's not like it's like every goddamn
stuff
week.
That isn't breaking the NDA, but he is doing it. Yeah. So if you go on. Is it Jacob Torres's Vero?
Yeah, super Snyder Cut.
Yeah. Zack Snyder's just constantly liking stuff, and he even follows him.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And you're seriously saying we're thinking too much into it? No way, comic movie marks. No way.
It would be a hell of a thing if Zack Snyder was just liking like all these people's Release the Snyder Cut posts. It'd be the biggest
prank on. Yeah. Honestly, I'd lose so much respect for him if he didn't even realize what he was doing.
Yeah, even if he wasn't looking at it, right? Even if he wasn't like looking at every single post, eventually he's gonna look at one of them that says "Release the Snyder Cut," and he still, likes it. It's got to be something to
Jason more. Surely he's close friends with Jason, and Jason in an interview publicly said, "Fuck yeah, I want the Snyder Cut."
Yeah.
What does Henry Cavill's acknowledged it? I think Ben Affleck's the only one who hasn't acknowledged it.
And of course, Ray Fisher is literally wearing the Snyder Cut T-shirt,
screaming, "The bell can't be unrung."
Yeah, like they all want it. Zack Snyder probably wants it too. He probably wants it just as much as we do.
I do believe at the end of the day, though, the only person who knows is Zack Snyder and the heads at Warner Bros. Yep. No one else is gonna know.
Yeah, nobody. No one's gonna know.
Like that Jason Momoa video. The only way he'll know is if he went to Warner Brothers and said, "Look, I'm not doing more Aquamans unless you give the Snyder Cut to people." And that's what he was excited about because he persuaded them. Well, not persuaded them, he blackmailed them into doing it.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's something Jason would do because he absolutely loves his fans.
Yeah, and he was super excited running out of that DC office.
Exactly, and surely after Aquaman 1, he knew that he was getting more films. So what? Yeah. And he's already starred in loads of films that got him loads of money. So why would he be bothered if he got signed to more Aquaman films?
Right.
He wouldn't be that excited. He'd be happy, but he wouldn't be screaming down Warner Brothers.
And that's not what actors do when they get cast in films, right? Because they could get kicked off a film anytime. So they're not going to be like losing their minds that they got cast in something.
Yeah. Aquaman 2 could get cancelled now, tomorrow, in the next 10 minutes.
Or that Dune film that he's like got supposedly casted.
Yeah, and people were saying that's what it was over. No way. Why? One, it's made by Legendary. So when he's at Legendary, fair dues. People said he was excited at Warner Brothers because they've allowed him to go to be on Dune.
No.
Are you crazy?
That's not how shit works.
No way.
And if you actually look at his reaction when he's at Legendary, he's like, "Oh, today is a good day." Like that seems like all right. He got cast in Dune. Like,
yeah, you'd be happy, because it is. He said it's something.
He's screaming right now at Warner Brothers.
He's screaming at the security guard. He's outside. He says, "You've got no idea what's coming."
No idea. Like what? We know Aquaman films are
10
coming.
minutes later to be announced. Just was in June. Like, what the hell? We do have an idea what's coming. You're in June.
Yeah.
So it has to be something else. I want the Snyder Cut.
I want the Snyder Cut. That's exactly what it is. Snyder's weekend. I wish I could be there, man.
Yeah. Is it in LA? It's always in LA.
Pasadena, California. So I think just outside LA.
Oh, is that where he lives? Pasadena?
Somewhere around there. But we'll know, man. Movie marks are serious about going, so I mean, we'll all know. Like, they will tell us if something happens for sure.
That's what I mean. There's absolutely no way that we're not finding out on that day.
Oh yeah, it's a real exciting time, and it's either going to end in like the greatest like euphoric moment or just utter disappointment on March 22nd and 24th.
Well, I think it's going to be. There's no way he's doing a director's cut.
It's too much of a coincidence. It's
just too on the nose. Yeah, it's too on the nose. I might just Google Zack Snyder's house.
But still, if it doesn't end up happening, he doesn't say anything. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put like the Snyder Cut on the back burner a little bit, like just like.
What if he just says in general, "Oh, it's not happening"? Sorry.
Oh, if he just says nothing, like.
No, he wouldn't get away with that. There's no way he get away with that.
Like you gotta say something at this point. So
people have got absolute mental if he says nothing.
And they just made $80,000 off people that are looking forward to the Snyder Cut, because that's the bulk of people that bought that shirt. That's the bulk, right?
Definitely.
People that want the Snyder Cut and want Zack Snyder's, Justice League vision. Those are the people that bought that shirt, and they made $80,000 off them. So, like, goddamn, you gotta give us something.
Exactly. Imagine if that was a $30 Blu-ray instead.
That'd be great. I would pay $50 for a.
Yeah, I'll be getting the Steelbook, the 3D version, the 2D version, the art book, the everything.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, 19 days and we'll know what's happening.
I know.
There's quite a lot of excitement, to be fair.
We'll have to do another podcast when that happens.
Imagine the podcast of nothing's been said. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that'd be disappointing. Is there anything else you want to say though, and add to the podcast though?
No, not really. Just I think that'll be it for me. If nothing gets announced, I will be just angry.
Yeah, and that's understandable. That's totally understandable. I totally get that. It's tough to stay optimistic about something that you're getting no news about. Like nothing like official has happened in like so long.
Exactly. I'll be very, very angry.
But I'll stay optimistic till March 22nd.
Yep.
That's it for now, I guess. I'm sure it's going to happen.
Are you sure?
I'm like 83% sure.
That's quite sure.
That's quite sure. That's quite. Not that it'll happen this year, just that it will happen. 83%. The chances it's going to happen this year about like 61, 62. I really want it to happen this year though. But yeah, that's it for now. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Bloop.
stay if you want to. Some sacred questions, you stole.